Let's talk about customer onboarding for startups, which is obviously a little different than onboarding for traditional small businesses because startups need to focus on high growth and so on. So what should be your goals in the beginning? You need to focus on building long-term, happy, and highly engaged customers who eventually, not right away, eventually invite friends. The mistakes that first-time entrepreneurs typically make are all the things you hear about regularly. Collect emails, collect data, sell, run ads, or what I put in quote unquote asks, asking for a review, asking for a share, asking for a referral, asking for whatever. It's too early because when people first hear about you, they are indifferent. They don't really care. They're not going to lift a finger. And I know that this reality sounds a little harsh, but it's not that the people are bad. They are busy with their lives. And you're just sort of a nuisance at this point, like a new thing they have to do. They're already overwhelmed. So your step one is to compel people to learn about your business. This is just an interesting tweet, an interesting post somewhere that they see and compel, really get them interested. Then after people have checked out your website or app or product, step two is the first engagement or the first interaction they have with your website or app or product. So let's talk about that very first step of them actually using your product. You have to find a way to give value quickly. And inside that statement is hidden another point that it should be really clear how to use whatever your product is. And people watching this, you might have a new type of a hammer, a new website, a new app. So extremely different ideas are possible. So it's hard for me to generalize, oh, you're going to have an app or, oh, you're going to have a website. But generally, make sure that it's extremely simple and clear to use or to start using your product. If it's confusing, people are going to quit. They're not going to take the time to learn. They haven't gotten value yet. A part of giving value quickly is making things intuitive and easy so they can give it a try. For example, if it's on mobile apps, if you have a long sign-up process, it will decrease the number of people who go through that and more people will quit. For example, when I created my apps, on day one, guess what I did? I made people create accounts as soon as they downloaded the apps. And then I saw a huge delete rate. And then I took off the sign up and I gave them features. I let them use the app right away. And guess what? I saw the rate at which people were deleting the apps go down a lot. And it increased my engagement. And with that, revenue increased and everything else increased. Would it be great if I got everybody's email right away? Of course. But you have to make the decision of what you want. And most of the time, the thing to focus on is engagement. Because without real engagement and without giving value, even if you get their email, guess what? You'll send them your email. They're just going to delete because they weren't interested. You didn't get them interested, excited enough. So once you make it clear to use, you give value early, the next step is convenience and regular use. So they do it again and again and again. You want to start turning your product into something that's a part of people's everyday life. And of course, they won't immediately do that. So you have to remind them. How do you remind them? There are a few ways to get people back. Maybe you can run ads, retargeting ads to them. You can promote on social media in case they followed you. If you have their email, you can email them. They can always find your product again through the original way they found your product. Those are all common ways, right? And if you have a unique product, for example, if you have a mobile app, well, you have push notifications that are an option, that are only an option on mobile apps. So every once in a while, you have unique ways to get people back. But generally, it's either retargeting ads, social media. If they subscribe to you on social media, they'll get your messages again, or email. Without that, it's really hard to get people back into their product. So make sure that even though I just told you that it's not good to collect email too early, at the same time, don't collect it too late and make sure that you have some way to get people back, because relatively few people will remember you. Again, they're busy. It's not that they're bad. They're just busy. You are the one who needs to compel and interest them. So with that in mind, what are the next goals? You really want to, like I just mentioned, to start making your product a part of people's everyday lives. They don't have to use your product every day, but regularly, like Uber or a game people play, because people who are addicted to some game, they play it a lot and pretty often. Or Uber, once they use it and it's convenient, they will use it the next time and the next time and the next time. And that convenience, it's easy for me to say, make it convenient, but there's a lot of things that have to go into that, right? Let's say in the case of Uber, the price has to be right. It has to be fast. It has to be better than competitors. It has to work every time. So all of these things are built on top of KPIs. Different KPIs will lead to getting all those things right. So actually, this is a work in progress that you'll have to be doing to get the usability just right. This is on you to test and keep improving your product so that it's a yes for all those things. And during the planning of your product, think, is this like a one-time thing, or is this something that people use regularly? For example, a one-time thing may be to speed up their phone. Maybe their phone is slowing down. Well, they do it once and they kind of throw it away. Or something like that where it's like a throwaway. You do it once, it's a tool, it's great, but then people don't use it again. It's really hard to build a business on top of a product to which customers don't really return. So make sure when you're planning, the regular use is a part of your plan. You figured out how to make this a regularly used product that can get integrated into people's lives. And the goal, of course, for you is, if it's an app, it's to get on the home screen of people's phones so that it's right there. They see it every time they open the phone. If it's not an app, obviously there's no such thing as home screen, but whatever the product is, make sure that it's highly visible, always there. Because, out of sight, out of mind. You need to be in sight. That's a huge goal. Once your product accomplishes this, you are a huge part of the way there. Once you are a part of people's lives, this is really when they tell their friends, they share your product, and they spend more money, they buy more premium features, they stay on as customers longer, and so on and so on. All those great things happen, and they almost become your brand ambassadors because they invite friends. But until they get this great value and ease and convenience, nothing happens. So all those things you want, like we mentioned, emails, sales, all those things, if you do them a little too early, you'll stunt your growth. If you do them too late, you'll stunt your growth in another way, like lack of revenue, lack of emails, all those things. So when building a product, you have to be really careful and sensitive of when to include all those things so that you get the most growth, but also the most spending and customer retentions and so on. And for startups, generally speaking, you want to err on the side of growth and engagement, and the revenue is later. It's not always like that, but generally it's like that. Now I want to show you a practical, real example of how a major company focused on the onboarding of their clients. And it's actually going to be an example from Udemy. How does Udemy onboard the clients? Well, the Udemy business model is predicated on getting students to get a lot of value from the course they're taking so that they take another course. They want one student to buy many courses over time. But to do that, the first course that students take has to be amazing. What I'm showing you is my instructor dashboard for a very popular course of mine. It's not the best course in the world, but it's one of the better courses on Udemy. I've been improving it for years, so it's a solid course. Now let's look at the engagement of these students. And this is in 2020 that I'm filming this. Udemy started, depending on how you count, from 2011, 12, 13, 14. The courses back then were a substantial amount worse than they are now. The industry matured, the instructors got better, and so on and so on. Now, back then, most courses were quite atrocious. So Udemy really struggled to impress the first students, because as soon as a student has a bad experience, either with the first course or like the third course, they are unlikely to take another course. Now, what's happening here? Let's look at this. This is today, okay? Let's look at progress. And you see, I'll make it a little bigger for you. A lot of people bought the course and have not started. And if they did start, they only went through a couple of videos, 10%, 5%. Okay, and you'll say, okay, that's the first day. Fine. Okay, that's the first day. That's fine. Now, this is on September 30th that I'm filming this. Let's go back to September 1st. Udemy has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you would think that people would want to try the course within the first 30 days of buying it. And of course, they have lifetime access to the course, so they can take it anytime, but generally, like, why wait forever? Now, let's look at this. We have 30 days ago, one person bought it, and then this is back in August. What happened? Out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people that are being shown to us, only 3 people ever started. One person, they looked at the course for like 1%. They looked at one video and they quit for an unknown reason. And then 2 people had really good engagement, and maybe they're still working on the course. So 2 out of 10 are actually engaged, and only 3 out of 10 ever tried it. Now, if you think this is a fluke, let's just go a few days back. Even worse, right? A couple of people tried it, same thing. 3 people tried it, barely watched anything, quit. This is actually prevalent. Now, this is today on a relatively engaged course. Imagine how bad things used to be when Udemy started. The students would start the courses, but the courses were bad, poorly filmed, poor audio, poor everything, poor instruction, and they would quit. And then Udemy, because they spent a lot of money acquiring the customer, would lose money because they would not be able to sell many courses to that customer. How do they fix this? In a couple of ways. First, the courses have to be amazing. The more amazing the average course is, the more likely a student will take it and take the next course. So they had to make the instructors actually better. Because Udemy doesn't make the courses themselves, they had to make the instructors better. So actually, Udemy made reviews extremely important on their site to instructors, because the better reviews you get, the more students buy your course. And I know reviews are common on Amazon and everywhere else, but on Udemy, for the instructor, reviews are extra important. So they made the reviews extra important. And something that students don't know is that Udemy promotes the top courses, the top courses that are better than this one, like the top 100 of their courses on the entire platform. They promote those courses like crazy. Why? Because those courses have the best engagement. And when they have the best engagement, that increases the chance that that student will buy the next course and the next course and the next course until they will make their way through worse and worse courses. So in this way, they ensure that whatever the highest quality courses are now, that's what the students are mostly taking. And they're putting pressure on instructors to actually make themselves better so that they naturally get better reviews and more engagement and so on. And by putting pressure on instructors to make the courses better and become better, Udemy raised their overall engagement in the courses and profitability. And even though this particular page looks pretty dire, right? This is incredibly low engagement. So this is not a sign that this course has good engagement. But if we go on to other pages, for example, next page, you see, okay, more people tried it, more people made their way through the course, like 20%, 40%, and people kind of still are working on it, 10%, more people are trying it. So if we go to the next page, you'll see, okay, 1 person completed, 1 person made it halfway through, and so on and so on. So the question still does remain, like, why have so many people never even tried it? Like, they don't even know if the course is good or if the course is bad. They never got to try it. Why is there such a high rate of these guys? It's actually because Udemy is extremely good at selling, and when they have a sale, people typically snap up courses in a bunch. For example, if I click on any person, let's say this person, I don't know anything about them, I'm just going to click on them. What I'm going to expect is that they took a lot of courses. You see, mine, this is that course they're taking of mine, is just one of million courses that they have. Look at how many courses they bought. And it's very common. This is a very common occurrence. So the reason you saw that so many people have courses that they never even are going to try taking is precisely because now Udemy has such a high engagement rate and such a high trust rate that they're able to sell hundreds of courses to people. Precisely because most of the courses people are taking are very good, and they became very good because of Udemy focused on those metrics of like, how do we make the courses better, more engaging, so that people enjoy them more and buy more. You see how that cycle worked and how it worked out very well for them? Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment and press the all-important thumbs up. Now, this video was taken from my full course on entrepreneurship, how to start a business, and business planning. If you feel like you learned something from this video and it gave you value, feel welcome to click on Show More and see the link to the full course. The link will already have a discount code, so all you'll do is just browse the curriculum in that course, and if it's something that looks interesting, it looks like there's something you can learn more, then of course you're welcome to buy that course. It will be discounted. If not, then thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in my next videos.